was about to say, another film is about to join the pantheon of great movies. That sounds so cheesy, but that's exactly what the Oscars do. First of all, how many of the Best Picture nominees have you seen?
Oh, gosh. See, I kept telling Tiffany and I tried to see The King's Speech like 5 times over the last month. I kept telling myself I have to see The King's Speech before I do this podcast. I have not seen The King's Speech.
This is the first year in a while that I can say I've seen the majority of the films.
Okay.
I think I've seen 4, I think.
4 of them?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. All right, so I've seen The King's Speech, Social Network, Inception, The Fighter, Toy Story 3, and there's another, and The King's Speech. And The King's Speech.
Did you see 127 Hours?
I did not. No.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of opinions about the movies that I have seen in the
Okay.
But I can't say honestly that I'm a master or a genius regarding the 10 nominees this year. Other than I'm pretty sure that the winners vote won. I didn't see it.
Okay.
But I'm
all right.
sure it won't win, and that nobody saw it.
From my understanding, it is crazy rural people.
Okay. So, but Billy Bob Thornton is nowhere in sight. I don't think.
That's true.
Around.
Okay.
Oh, I saw True Grit too. I forgot about that one. True Grit. Yeah.
True Grit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my 4 was Social Network, True Grit, Inception, and
Toy Story 3.
There you go.
Yeah, I've kept intending to see The King's Speech and True Grit, but haven't still gotten around to it. Okay, well, of the ones that you've seen, what's your favorite of them?
See, that's a tough. Ooh, that's a tough question. Yeah.
Have your personal favorite, and then you feel the one deserving of the award,
right?
And the one that you think's gonna win, and.
That's tough. It comes down to a few of them.
Let's break this down. Which one? First of all, which one did you enjoy the most?
Gonna have to go with Toy Story on that one.
Okay.
That was the most. That was the most complete of all the movies, I think.
I mean, I'm a homer for Chris Nolan. I gotta go with Inception. I loved it. It messed with my head. I can't have a dream the same way anymore. Like, he is forever affected the way I think of that.
Inception was good. Inception did not blow my socks off. Not gonna
Okay. Okay.
Fan of Chris Nolan stuff, and it was exactly what I expected from a Chris Nolan movie. And that's it, honestly. So I guess it's kind of bad when you're a guy like him, come up with the most innovative ideas, and because you do that, you can't surprise yourself.
See, what that should tell you, Taylor, is he's saving his A game for The Dark Knight Rises. That's all you need to know for that.
All right. Well, okay. Of the ones that you've seen, which do you think? Which do you think probably will end up winning Best Picture?
I think The King's Speech will win. Again, I didn't see it, if only because it seems to be between The Social Network and The King's Speech, and I think The Social Network should win. So I'm going to default.
Good.
I would say the same. I would go with The King's Speech, just because I saw The Social Network and I thought it was excellent in the way it was surprisingly good. I like Aaron Sorkin as a director. I didn't know what he could do with the ensemble he had. I mean, Justin Timberlake was in it. I had my doubts, but I mean, it was great. It was a fantastic cast, and it was a well done movie.
SNL, you know that Justin Timberlake is perhaps
he's funny. He's funny. He may not be Tom Hanks, but he is funny. But the King's Speech is honestly one of the best movies I've seen in several years. Just man, moved me. Like as a movie, really moved me. And I mean, it's a historical film. We know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen, but a great a great history movie will always leave you doubting, like leave you wondering at a point, like is what I know going to happen really going to happen? And I was definitely like I was on the edge of my seat. I was on the edge of my seat for something that's already happened, and I think it takes a very special movie to do that.
That's how I felt about Gladiator.
Yeah.
I have not seen A King's Speech yet. I really want to, and I think I'm going to love it. I feel like The King's Speech is going to beat out The Social Network, although I think that The Social Network is probably the better made film. But The King's Speech seems like more Hollywood. It seems like a movie that would win for Best Picture.
It's a period.
Yeah, it has that kind of feel.
So yeah, and it's got the real. I had a conversation with one of my bosses today. You know, it's already got at least costume design and other things like that wrapped up because it is a royal family period piece. That is just
yeah.
And as we all know, most of the time the Oscars they go straight ballot anyway, straight ticket.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Oh, don't get me started on straight ballot.
Yeah.
Slumdog Millionaire beating out Wall-E for sound editing and stuff.
That's always my example. Is as much as I love Slumdog Millionaire, great movie. It had pretty mediocre sound design and a pretty mediocre score, but it won for both of those.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, my thing with Social Network is I love Aaron Sorkin's writing. I've seen just about everything he's done. Honestly, I can't think of anything he's done I haven't.
Do you see
A
Few Good Men?
Yes.
Okay.
At least most of it. I would say it was probably the most accessible of all his scripts too. Like most of his stuff, just like no one really talks that way. But
oh yeah.
Yeah.
West Wing. Good gosh, I can't keep up with it.
Studio 60, American President. No one talks that way.
Mm-hmm.
But this was very believable in that way. So there was that. I thought everything else was pretty ordinary. Like it was all well done, but not overly creative or artistic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the biggest gripe is so much of the intrigue going into the Social Network is, oh wow, this is Facebook, this is Mark Zuckerberg, and you're like, this happened. It's like, holy cow, all this happened. When none of it really did.
Right.
They're taking advantage of intrigue, but it's kind of a false sense of intrigue because it's not really happened.
The thing more that I found interesting about The Social Network more than the story, because it was there are. I mean, who's to say what the shades of truth and untruth are in it? But what it says about us as a culture in this new social media integrated way. I felt like Social Network was probably the first real movie of this current era that we're in, as far as addressing that.
And that was a legitimate and fascinating angle to take.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie should have been made in that way, but probably would have been served better had they made up some fictitious social network and some fictitious story, because that's almost what they did, at least in terms of characterization and some events.
Yeah.
With
but no one
Mark Zuckerberg or something.
But yeah, no one would have cared if they'd done that.
Right.
I was really surprised, and y'all tell me if you agree with this, but the movie really didn't focus much on Facebook itself. Mm-hmm. Like the phenomenon of Facebook was nowhere near the main subject of the movie. It was all about like the people behind it,
the relationship,
and I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, and they really. I mean, it's kind of. I feel bad for Mark Zuckerberg. I'm kind of getting on a soapbox about this. I'm sorry. But he's only been in the public eye for really like 3 years now.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's going to be the conception that most people have of him. And everyone's conception of Eduardo, what's his name, his best friend, is going to be like, he was the victim.
And
right.
Spider-Man.
Well,
he is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. So he's as far as Eduardo is concerned, he's golden now. But that's really not what happened either.
Yeah. No, well, but I didn't come out with that impression. I didn't really villainize Mark Zuckerberg in it. In a lot of ways, I just kind of felt sorry for him, and
I felt like, and I don't know why I felt like this. I felt like I was expecting them to just go like slam Zuckerberg throughout, and I felt like they were a lot more sympathetic towards him than I believed they were going to be.
I think part of it is that Jesse Eisenberg is likable.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Same reason that everyone likes Michael Cera.
People mix them up all the time. Oh. Well, that'll probably do it. As far as this is concerned.
We got to talk about the movies we're excited about in 2011.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And also any Oscar snubs. Speaking of Michael Cera.
You think that Scott Pilgrim?
Best movie of the year.
Thank you, Taylor. Yes. If
its poor box office take and lack of recognition is the tragedy of our time.
it really, well, you know what? Here's what I've said. In a couple months ago, I watched Joe versus the Volcano, which is like one of Tom Hanks's first movies. And Joe versus the Volcano was like Scott Pilgrim for the 1980s.
Is it just
like
it has
everything about it? Yes, exactly. There's even a verses in it. Like it's a coming of age story. It's a falling in love story that's set against this ridiculous situation, like absolutely ridiculous situation, and it's fun and it's great and it's a really like. It's a lot of deep stuff in it, even, despite the absurdity. If there were a most underappreciated movie of the year for the Oscars, Scott Pilgrim would be number one with a bullet.
Definitely. As much as I enjoyed Scott Pilgrim, I probably should add in here that we are not fully endorsing all of the movies that we've been talking about in this.
Okay. All right.
Just going to throw that in there.